My name is Justin Chugg, and today we're going to be talking about how to identify dissatisfied prospects. This is typically an area that most of us try to focus on when it comes to sales because these are the prospects that are easiest to peel off from our competitors. But oftentimes it's hard to identify these clients, and if we had a list of dissatisfied clients, I think that all of our lives would be a lot easier. So that's exactly what we're going to focus on today, is how to build a list of dissatisfied prospects, and it's a lot easier than you think. To do so, we're actually going to use Google Maps. We've talked about using Google Maps in the past. A few weeks ago, we talked about selling contact center solutions, and so what we would do is before we engage with the client, we would review their Google reviews to see if there's any discussions about the quality of contacting or issues in getting a hold of anybody. And so a lot of times these are great sweet spots to identify contact center or phone system issues that the company may be experiencing without actually noticing it. But today's discussion is going to take a little bit different route. What we're actually going to do is we're going to look at the customer reviews of our competitors. And so what this does is it essentially helps us identify who's happy and who's not. And so if we go to any of our competitors' Google Maps listings, and we can look at everyone that shows up on here. Now, Google is very generous in how they share everyone's information. And so in this instance, you can see the full name of the individual and the exact details of the issues that they're experiencing with your competitor. Now, obviously, we're all aware of this. We just don't necessarily utilize these resources to their full extent. And so this is a great way to go out and identify all of the prospects and customers that our competitors currently have that are just dissatisfied. On the same note, even if they aren't dissatisfied, the fact that you can identify which companies are using your competitor services and try to understand what they like about it is also a great resource for your business as well. So in any case, whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star, really the information here is very valuable. Now, just having a name isn't enough, obviously, and I think that you could put 2 and 2 together. You could simply take this name, plug it into LinkedIn, and you have all the information that you need to move forward. Now, you also find that you can some reviews will be based on company names, which is still just as good. I personally prefer the personal names because then you know who to contact. And what's great is this is the individual who's responsible for this particular type of technology. So if we're dealing with hosted voice or IT security or managed IT services, whoever is making the post here is the person that's typically the decision maker. It's also helpful to have this information because when you're engaging with Harris, in this particular instance, you can reference the Google review as a door opener. It makes it a lot easier to say, hey, I saw what you wrote about such and such a company. I think I can help you with that. And so it makes the email and the communication much more personal, which has a much higher yield on getting response rates. Now again, you're going to get either a full individual's name or a company name. If you get the company name, just try to find the most appropriate contact within the organization and address the same issue. Now, if you need contacts, again, you can go to LinkedIn and just connect and engage with them from there. You can also get the email format for the company at upsellreport.com. And what this will do is we'll say, is it a first.last initial, first initial.last name, or however the email format is, it'll show up there. There'll also be a number of emails and contacts that we're able to identify within the company, plus a full background report on those companies. Again, this report is free. Feel free to use it if you need to identify a few companies when you're working through this strategy. Also, I would recommend following these companies. Oftentimes it's not, the customer reviews may not be enough to win the customer over. So it's always a good idea, once you've identified the companies that are dissatisfied with their current vendor, to keep track on them. So if you're not familiar with Ensable, essentially what we do is we track changes taking place within organizations or sales triggers to keep you informed about different events that are taking place. Now, another caveat with these Google reviews is that you need to only focus on reviews that are actually relevant and timely. So if you're working with somebody who's dissatisfied with their current vendor, but that review was made several years ago, it's too late right now. There's a small window of opportunity. Google will allow you to actually sort them based off of time reference, and so that'll make it a lot easier for you to identify which clients are experiencing these types of challenges today. And so that's really everything that we have for today. We'll go ahead and open it up for Q&A, but just to recap while we wait for those questions to come through, the strategy is this. You need to pay attention to the Google reviews of your best competitors. Once you identify the clients that are dissatisfied with that service, you want to reach out to them on a regular basis, follow them. But what's great is Google's going to give you their full name or company name, and plus the client's going to give you a description of why they're dissatisfied with that client. So really it's a gold mine for any new prospects because anybody that's voicing their concerns with their current vendors, it's pretty easy to go out and capture that business. So with